You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Game on, where progressives fear us and rhinos tremble. Welcome to the political jungle. I'm JD.
This is Stacy. No one is safe. No one is spared.
Lock up the children.
And the old folk.
Welcome to the world of liberservative conservatarians.
Good Sunday evening, March 31st, 2019. Again, this is the second official week of 1 a.m. That's after Muller, baby. Welcome back to all of our political geeks, freaks, and back alley sneaks. Everybody right now, get over to Spreaker.com, type in JD and Stacy, get in that chat room, say hello to Stacy. We want to thank KLRN Radio, Spotify, for making Game On possible. Tonight, we're talking at DCCC, and Dems are learning a new boss, same as that old boss, baby. Is John Roberts about to flip and hatch into our newest liberal swing justice? Probably. The president rocks Michigan like a stone-cold gangster and more. Remember, everybody right now, top off that drink, light up that stink, have yourself whatever helps make you think. JD and Stacy taking you to the top of that 9 p.m. Eastern hour here in that KLRN. How's you, baby? Yeah, hello? Hello?
I thought I took myself off mute.
Jeez, here we are. Okay, welcome. How's that? Nothing better than a show that you have to edit as soon as it starts. Ain't that fantastic? Oh, my God. Thank you for being prepared. I appreciate that.
I thought I pushed the button.
No, you didn't, because the sound of the feedback in my ear was absolutely... Let me ask you a question. You can't just... You want to know something, folks? For all the talk on the left, there's 15 genders in bathrooms. Here's the difference between men and women. This is a person who literally cannot just sit there and be quiet for a minute and 30 seconds. Has to use a mute button.
Never know when the dogs are going to bark.
Listen, you're telling me you didn't have to...
Okay, terrific.
You're telling me you didn't just have to use a mute button? What's wrong with you? Like, literally, couldn't just sit there in silence for a minute and 30 seconds.
Nope.
Had to have nothing but dead air. Oh, how are you this Sunday evening?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Kind of slow news week, huh?
Oh, yeah. Nothing happened this week. Absolutely nothing.
Everything happened so furiously and so fastly, it just doesn't matter anymore. Everything is just absolutely stupid. So we're gonna just kind of take it where it comes.
There you go.
Oh, well, as Stacey and I promised you last week, it got front run by the drop in the release of the Mueller report. Tonight we have a couple of interesting things to talk to. In the third segment, instead of nonsense of the world, we're going to talk about that absolutely fantastic rally the president had in Michigan. I think it was yesterday. That has got to. I don't care what you think about this guy. A Trump rally has got to be better entertainment than Hamilton. Has to be. Absolutely has to be. Has to be. Did you see any of the cuts from that?
Theater. If you like theater, you got to go to one. I've never been to one. I think I'm going to have to this election cycle.
I don't know. I don't know how we cannot. But we go from the president who's actually trying to do something for the country to the gift. In the first segment, we're going to be talking about John Roberts, ladies and gentlemen. John Roberts looks to be lining up to be a much bigger disappointment than even some people had feared. We're going to talk about the DCCC and them trying to kneecap this new progressive socialist movement, but I don't know if that's going to work, and then we're going to cover that Trump rally in 3. So, a couple of weeks ago, I had brought to Stacey's attention, there was an article. It was all over the place. There's a new book coming out. I have no interest in promoting it, so I really don't care who did it or when it's coming out, but the article went into the machinations of John Roberts and the Obamacare decision. And, this was unplanned because Stacey and I do our own research. I found an audio clip that I'd like you to listen very carefully to. It's John Roberts speaking about 5 months ago. The clip is from C-SPAN. Listen to what he says about the court and political decisions, and then follow us through the rest of this segment. Here's John Roberts setting himself to be cut off at the knees by J.D. and Stacey.
Now, the court has, from time to time, erred greatly. But when it has been because the court yielded to political pressure, as in the Korematsu case, shamefully upholding the internment during World War II of Japanese-American citizens. Those of us on the court know that the best way to do our job is to work together in a collegial way. Now, I'm not talking about mere civility, although that helps. I am instead talking about a shared commitment to a genuine exchange of ideas and views through each step of the decision process. We need to know at each step that we are in this together. There is a concrete expression of that collegiality in a tradition at the court that has prevailed for over a century. Before we go onto the bench to hear argument in a case, and before we go into the conference room to discuss a case, we pause for a moment and shake each other's hand. It's a small thing, perhaps, but it is a repeated reminder that, as our newest colleague put it, we do not sit on opposite sides of an aisle, we do not caucus in separate rooms, we do not serve one party or one interest, we serve one nation. And I want to assure all of you that we will continue to do that to the best of our abilities, whether times are calm or contentious. Thanks very much.
Sounds nice, Stacey, doesn't it? At least the gist of it.
I have a lot to say.
Well, okay. Before you say that, I would like to give a little brief history of John Roberts and some of his rulings. At the end of February, Roberts joined liberals in 2 rulings that left the conservatives in dissent. He cast a deciding vote for a mental competency hearing for a death row inmate. And then he basically began a pattern where it looked like he might be agreeing quite a bit 5-4 with the liberal justices. Now, I want to keep this in mind from Mr. I don't have any, there's no Obama judges, there's no whatever judges. From 2005 to the end of the 2016-27 term, Roberts had provided the fifth vote for liberal outcome in cases argued before the court only 4 times. The biggest in 2012 was Obamacare. Roberts, from 2005 through 2017, he had only 4 times sided 5-4 with the liberal justices. Roberts has done that 3 times in the last year and a half since Donald Trump's been president. But there's no such thing as judicial activism, right?
No, none. I mean, I just find the timing of that whole little flowery statement very, very suspicious. If you honestly believe that a Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I just lost her first name, Sotomayor, a Kagan, or Breyer is going to come off ideology in making their decisions. I mean, every dissent or majority opinion they write is ideology, not law. I don't understand why people who want fidelity to the Constitution and want the rule of law to prevail think that the other side is coming at it in any kind of way that's genuine. That really just is starting to annoy me.
3 of the 4 times Roberts has sided with the liberals has been against Trump. 2 of them have been during high-profile emergency orders. Now, go back to the audio where, and I'm going to tell you something, Justice Roberts is another turd gifted to us in the punch bowl by the Bush family. By the Bush family. H.W. Bush, war hero, absolutely. Seems to be a pretty fine man, same for the wife. W., he seemed to be the right guy to be there around 9/11. Other than that, the Bush family are a bunch of patrician, plutocratic, basically blue dog Democrats that have given us garbage Supreme Court justice after garbage Supreme Court justice. And H.W., and in typical the Bushes are going to screw us fashion, Bush gave us one who is the Chief Justice and was about 14 years old when he appointed him. So We're going to have to live with this for the next 162 years.
Right.
And I want to go back to the audio that I played at the beginning of this segment. John Roberts is nothing but a snake, a politician, and a liar. If you go back through the books that were written over the confirmation period when Roberts was in there, he was running around selling everybody in the West Wing who would listen about how much of an originalist he is, and he is going to be. I understand the depth of being the Chief Justice, and I will be a conservative. And you want to know what? He's another liar. He's another liar because from that super conservative bastion of legal thinking known as the University of California at Berkeley Law School, the dean of Cal Berkeley Law, Erwin Chemerinsky, had this to say about Justice Roberts, quote, "This may be," and he was referring to those three sidings with the liberals in the last year and a half. "This may be Chief Justice Roberts taking very seriously his role as the median justice and perhaps the beginning of his being the swing justice. Roberts issued an unusual statement pushing back against Trump's characterization as an Obama judge, and he said, quote, "We do not have Obama judges or Trump judges. We have Bush judges or Clinton judges, and the man is a liar. And the man is a liar, and I'll tell you why. You have got to see the excerpt." I pulled this one from CNN. All of the major news websites and magazines had pieces of this, but it's a behind-the-scene look at the Obamacare ruling. And here's just a little bit from the book that has yet to be released. "Roberts' moves behind the scenes were as extraordinary as his ruling. He changed course multiple times. He was part of the majority of justices who initially voted in a private conference to strike down the individual insurance mandate, the heart of the law, but also voted to uphold an expansion of Medicaid. But at that point, he was also negative on the law." Now, Stacey, I know that you've gone through some of this. He actually shocked his colleagues by coming down and having the machinations that this was a tax. And you hear from court watchers and you hear from people at the time, he wasn't calling balls and strikes. He wasn't ruling on the law. He was concerned with the image of the court. The image of the court has nothing to do with adjudicating a legal decision. It doesn't. If it's a right decision and it's the law and the court looks horrible, so be it. And if they look fantastic, so be it. It's a reason that you have a lifetime appointment. You're not a politician. And here we have, once again, a Republican president giving us, as Chief Justice, somebody who looks like he's a card-carrying member of the resistance. Because before I flip this over to Stacey and y'all start telling me, well, no, JD, I'm a David French Republican, and, you know, we need some of that good conservatism in there. Yeah? You know who sits atop the FISA court as its main oversight? The Chief Justice. The same FISA court that was abused to death by the intelligence agencies, the FBI, and the Mueller Group. It just, this guy's a fraud. Stacey, you with me?
Yep. In my reading of it, I'm sorry, I wasn't sure you were done. In my reading of it, I'm just sitting here, you know, he classified himself as a pro-business conservative, and it sounds like in my understanding of what's written for this book, that the idea that the individual mandate could be considered a tax was never even discussed. It's like he just made that out of whole cloth at the very, very end.
But that's like missing the forest for the trees. What does it matter? Look, listen. This is judicial activism because, you know who he is? He's basically Bob Mueller. He got the law and said, you know what? It was the obstruction charge. I'm not going to make a decision. You're the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. When the Supreme Court doesn't want to make decisions and adjudicate, they pass it back down and they leave it in the hands of the circuit below.
Right.
So, you know, don't tell me he didn't know full well going into this what kind of political hot potato and football this was going to be. And it sounds like the political winds changed from the beginning of the case to the end. That is not the way that we're supposed to adjudicate law in this country. It's the reason that people are losing faith in the system day by day by day by day by ever-loving day. It's because of things like this. It's because of things like this that people have stopped voting for the Republican Party. This is a Chief Justice delivered to us by a supposedly conservative president. And we're having a conversation about a seminal ruling where he twisted the law so much to find a tax. How is this any different than finding the emanations of penumbras and the idiocy that was decided in Roe? So for everybody out there, and this has nothing to do with the president. He didn't appoint this idiot. But for everybody out there that has just been jubilation after jubilation of we got a 5-4 locked-in conservative Supreme Court right now, and as soon as Aunt Ginsburg steps on that last banana peel, and President Quimby gets the next justice in there, we're going to have a 6-3 multi-generational conservative court? You people are kidding yourselves. You're absolutely fooling yourselves. Disabuse yourself of that notion right now. The court is not currently 5-4 if you take a look at the way that Roberts has been ruling. So no, it's not going to be a locked-up 6-3.
Yeah, it's 4.5, 4.5.
Well, no, because no, it's not 4.5, 4.5. It's almost 5-4 in the other direction because the four liberals never compromise.
No, they never.
So if Roberts is a sometimes conservative, but not when he doesn't like the temperament of the executive in the office, then what? What are we going to get? One good ruling every 15 years from this garbage moron? I am telling you,
very young.
I do not. I am tired of people. Look, I just don't want you to be fooled. I don't want the wool over your eyes, okay? The people that Donald Trump is a symptom of presidencies like the Bushes. He absolutely is. He absolutely is. Because for us to sit here today and have to live with this god-awful, absolutely moronic healthcare law that was, you know, and the Republican, it's such a, we could do a whole show on healthcare, but we're living with this today because we don't have a solid conservative who's calling balls and strikes on the courts. We just have another punk politician what way are the wind blowing loses? 30 seconds, Stacey. Take us to break.
Well, the only thing I don't understand is the current conversation about Obamacare. The whole thing hinged on the individual mandate being a tax. The individual mandate is gone. What do they do with it now? What do they do with it now?
I don't know, but what I'm hoping my co-host is going to do is keep herself off mute and answer the questions in the second segment. It makes so much for better radio. JD and Stacey here, Game On that KLRN radio. We got to take it some time, pay some bills. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. We'll be right back here on KLRN. Get in that chat room.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq, Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
1880, blind, crippling, crazy. Lock those kids up. Listen to the show with your baby. JD and Stacey here live on that Game On that KLRN radio. We want to thank KLRN, Spotify. We want to thank you. And right now, every one of you get over to Spreaker.com. Look up JD and Stacey. Get to our page. Get in that chat room. Say hello to Stacey. Join the party. Last week, there were people in there with no clothes on. I'm telling you, it had nothing to do with me. In that chat room, it's crazy. They jump up on the table like Beto O'Rourke. We're going to have a segment where not so much is that generic, not generic, grassroots stuff. It's a direct tie back to Bobby Kennedy. So much. I hope you digested that last segment. We're going to be bringing you more like that with Justice Roberts and the unfortunateness of the last two Bush presidencies. But welcome back here. Fastest hour in conservative radio. Wrapping up the first block, coming into the second. How's you? You want to play this time? Are you ready? Are you have
I'm
your,
ready.
do you have your game face on for segment number 2?
Game face on.
Good God, please. I mean, we could just, we could be on Red State Radio with this. Ugh. Let them have the go.
Right here. This is my baby.
What that?
This is my baby. I love talking about these people.
Oh no, I know that's how it goes. You just tune out in the segments you really don't interested in. You say, "Oh, the stuff that I wrote things on." Then I'm gonna shine. Why don't you tell the nice people we do have a nice piece of audio to set this segment up though. Wait.
Yeah.
Are they playing that every time AOC goes on the floor of the House at this point?
I don't think so. I think a lot of people just believe.
I'm the boss, okay? And I'm going to tell you something. You know where I'm going to get my money from the Green New Deal? I'm going to get it from the Stuckey brothers. The Stuckey brothers, they took the money from me that I had to go on Jeopardy to win because Woody Harrelson wanted to buy the car. And I'm going to get the Green New Deal money from the Stuckey brothers. And what you think about that, huh?
I think the best description I've seen of her is not mine. I wish I had coined it. But she has that crazy ex-girlfriend look to her.
Lucy, it's just so ridiculous. If you don't stop it with this Green New Deal nonsense, I'm going to make you hang out downstairs with Fred Nettle. While I go to the club in Babalu.
Okay, terrific.
Babalu. Lucy, you got some green dealing to do.
I'm sorry. You can't tell me this nonsense isn't funny. You can't.
Well, it's been a long time coming. And they've been completely moronic in handling it. And the biggest problem the Democrats have right now is that they never told their fringe when their fringe went too far.
Well, could you expand on that a little bit?
Absolutely. We had a little clip of audio. I'm not sure if we're going to play it now, but basically there's a man named Michael.
You want to know something? Yes. Why don't you set up who the man is, when it's from, let us get through the audio, and then we can tie back, because I think it's the same thing as the Roberts piece. I think the audio brilliantly sets up that this is not just some one-off anomaly.
Yeah, no, this is not an anomaly. Back in the 1960s, there were two schools of socialist thought. One was attached to Max Shachtman. This is Max Shachtman's protege. His name is Michael Harrington. He used to debate with founder of National Review, whose name just left me. Oh, my God.
Buckley.
Thank you, Buckley. Buckley being the conservative. He was also one of the architects of the war on poverty under Johnson. And he is one of the founders of the Democrat Socialists of America. For those of you who don't know, that's how Bernie Sanders identifies himself. And that's also what the group that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was a member of when she was selected to run by the Justice Democrats.
I beg your pardon? I actually identify as one cool goddamn Jew.
Hold on. Okay.
Harrington talking about the 1988 election shortly before he passed away.
He was not a Jew, and that's why he did not live to be 148 years old like Bernie has.
So, to Stacey's point, the audio that we're going to play of Harrington, the former FDR protege, who you said was one of the co-founders of what we would know as the modern-day DSA, correct?
Democrat Socialist, yep.
Yeah, so the audio we're about to play right here, circa 1988, right?
Yep.
For those of you who went to public school, that's about 31 years ago, kids.
But why then do I still, as I do, work within the Democratic Party? Why did I go to Atlanta? Why do I think that this party is the way to go? Why don't I support the notion of a third party that would really say what it meant, come up with a program for the economic and social crisis of our time, and deal with the issues? And the reason is simply this, that in the crazy politics of the United States, you have a Democratic Party which contains some of the worst people in the country. Some of the outstanding racists, sexists, union busters, cold warriors, and God knows what else are in the Democratic Party. At the same time, that same party contains most of the best people. And if you say this is a contradiction, this is an impossibility, this is something that shouldn't happen, I couldn't agree more. The problem is, this is America. This is what we get out of our structures, out of our party system. I believe that we have to change the party system. I believe that the kind of issues that are going to be on the agenda in the future are such that we're going to have to really face up to issues. But how do you change it? And I think the way you get a new party in the United States, ironically, is not through starting one. The last time that was done, more or less, was the Republican Party in the 1850s. The way you get a new party in the United States is by transforming an old party.
You know, couldn't you just see Trump's response to this? You see, listen to the video. The Democrats are not sending us their best. But I found this audio to be absolutely fascinating. If you close your eyes, and we didn't tell you that was from 1988, the descriptor that he's giving right there could be the current and modern-day Democratic Party, between the racists, between the sexists, between the good elements, but the fact that they want to rebuild the party. And folks, going back to the first segment, where we don't say this to depress you, but please don't walk around disillusioned that you have a solid 5-4 Supreme Court that's just accelerating to 6-3 multi-generational conservative victories. You're not, thanks to the Bush family. But where those on our side seem to set us back, this recording is from 31 years ago. And every minute of every hour of every day before that recording was made in 1988 and after that recording was made in 1988, the AOCs of the world, not her per se, she wasn't alive. The Ilhan Omars of the world, not her, she wasn't alive. But this whole crowd, every waking minute of every hour of every day, are pushing those tenets. And that's why we sit here today with the right just beginning to wake up. Listen, the left has a 130-year head start, 120-year head start on us on this, if you really want to take a look at it from that way. I mean, right, Stacey? I mean, what you're seeing today are just shoots of seeds that Democratic Socialist was sowing in this country 30, 50, 100 years ago.
Well, I mean, his rhetoric definitely helps you understand how we got to the realm of political correctness we're at today, right? Everybody's a homophobe, a racist, a this, or that. He was calling the Democrats that back in the 80s. The bigger deal is when you're looking at the Democratic Party now, right? The Democratic Party is looking at a young woman in Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez whose favorability rating is worse than Trump's. And she's the one taking up all the oxygen on television. She just had that big town hall, which was with Chris Hayes. And she, according to Tom Perez, was the new face of the Democratic Party. What I don't think they realized was the strategy behind her. Now, I started looking back at, into her back in November because all of a sudden I got interested. She's the product of a nationwide candidate recruitment campaign on the part of the Justice Democrats. They fielded 78. Most people don't know that. Okay? Most people don't know. They fielded 78 candidates. They had a 10% rate.
Kim Fox, the state's attorney I believe, was one of the candidates down ballot that weren't congressional.
She wasn't a Justice Democrat. There's actually a separate organization associated with Cenk and Chakrabarty and all those guys.
It's the same players.
That are doing DAs and state's attorneys.
Exactly.
They're focused solely on the legal positions. But they got a 10% win rate their first year out of the gate. Okay? This is not a joke. The leadership of this organization is young. They're digitally savvy. Chakrabarty's a millionaire. He can do this for free for the rest of his life. If you don't know, he was one of the co-founders of Stripe, that thing you run your card through. Yeah, that's him. Okay, Zach Exley is rich. Cenk Uygur is rich. They're all rich. They can just sit here and play with us with candidates like this. And the problem being, they're going to go to Texas, and they're going to primary Cuellar, right, who's a blue dog Democrat. And unless Republicans literally go out in the Democratic Party and vote for Cuellar, they're going to end up with an AOC, and we're going to get another AOC from a deep blue district that will not go red.
But I want you to stay focused, because in this particular segment we were focusing on, for all the machinations about how fractured the right is. Right here is the hand grenade that's been rolled into whatever kind of cohesive union politically the Democratic Party had. And the reason that this is a double-edged sword for the Democrats is the Democratic Party was at its inception and always will be, a coalition party. They are more like a European parliamentary party than they are a U.S. A political party at this point. They are just a loose bunch of coalitions. They will take in and expel at a moment's notice anybody into their ranks. They define the debate. They set where we have the conversations about the issues. They're the ones that allow us they basically release the language guides. And for whatever reason, we put up with this. But in this particular case, one of their underpinnings and one of the parts of the coalition that they're going to need in order, one, to defeat the president, and two, to maintain the House and have any shot at the Senate, is going to have to be reaching out to these what are called moderate Democrats that won in what are referred to as Trump districts. Now, you can't have it both ways. You can't run around and scream that anybody who has ever even considered a nice thought about Donald Trump is a quote-unquote racist white supremacist. White supremacist is reigning, and that's why you're seeing the ascension of the chocolate peanut M&M coalition that now has risen from the Justice Democrats and through the GCCC. You cannot be breathing that fire every single day and be breathing that fire and think that that's a message that's going to bring the people that you need to vote over to your side. Because, look, folks, you can hate Whitey all you want. You could be a self-hating cracker of the highest order. I don't care. You could be a self-hating anything. I don't care. But specifically because we're talking about demographics and white voters, look, you can hate Whitey all you want. You could be a Whitey who hates Whitey. You're going to have to get over the fact that currently crackers is, depending on where you read it, 77 to 79% of the population. So unless you do round us all up into FEMA camps, and have the second great Maoist awakening here in the States. There was a movie made about this with Travolta and Harry Belafonte. I forget, I think Firewater, whatever the hell it is. White Man's Burden. You want to have at that, fine. But until you do that, we haven't all gotten Ebola and dropped dead yet. Which means that you can't run around and keep telling the white man. I mean, look, Elizabeth Warren gets a pass because she's Indian. But you can't keep running around telling the white man that they're evil and expect to pull over disaffected white voters.
Well,
wait, let me just finish this point before you pick up on that. Because it's starting to cannibalize the 2020 candidates right now on the Democratic side. Elizabeth Warren threw Joe Biden under the Uncle McCreepy touch weirdo Me Too bus because she's the last white woman standing in the party. And her cuckoo bananas Chief Pocahontas nonsense didn't work for her. So in the intersectionality Olympics, you know, the knives are out. That was fascinating to me. Because I'm going to tell you something. And for those of you on the left who are just starting to realize this, the political way to play this is wrong. Let me tell you something. I wanted to make this analogy. White people running for president in the Democratic Party right now, this is prison gang rules, okay? It doesn't matter what you were on the outside. On the inside, the only protection you have is banding together by race.
Well, and even Bernie threw Joe under the bus. But the bigger deal here is Cheri Bustos is the chair of the DCCC, which is the Congressional Campaign Committee that supports House races. So what the DCCC has now said is they will not work with any organization or any contractor that works on a campaign to primary a sitting Democrat. Because as Steyer said when he was at AIPAC, 62 freshmen are in the House for the Democrats. 62 brand new House representatives, and you only ever see 3, and they're the worst possible 3 because most of them come from purple districts, and a lot of moms who drive, Suburbans to take their kids to soccer practice ended up voting for moderate Democrats, and the moderate Democrats are getting no air. So the last thing the Democratic Party wants is a bunch of AOCs primarying popular Democrats in their district, like Cuellar down in Texas. And so they've basically said, you don't get to work with these campaigns if you want to work with us. Now, the Progressive Caucus has objected, and most of the leadership of that caucus is now Justice Democrats. It's about 50-50. But you have people in that caucus like Maxine Waters and Ted Lieu and other people who've been in their seats. They understand what's going on. They are not going to walk away from the DCCC for their campaigns. That's a major funding source.
But it depends on what it depends on what it turns into. I'm telling you, I made the announcement. For anybody who's ever watched a prison movie or any of the thing on Discovery or the History Channel or National Geographic, no matter where you are on the planet, when you end up in the can, it doesn't matter who you are, what you think, what you believe. It's you are gravitating towards your race, and that's what's happening inside the Democratic Party, at least with the members who are running for president. Because
in national politics, yes, you're seeing all of the primary candidates run as far left as they can. So there's apology tours and everything else, and Republicans do the same thing. They run to the base.
But it's
right?
It's a split thing in the Democratic. Look, white candidates right now. The mea culpas and the apology tours, that's baked into the cake. That's been going on since Jimmy Carter and from before him and Woodrow Wilson and on and on and on and on and on and on and on, because it's about power. It's not about policy. So they were always weak when it came to foreign policy and how to keep this country safe. But no, I'm telling you, it's a two-step process for white candidates on the Democratic side now. Because not only do you have to lock into all their other idiocy, you now have to bow down, and it's not even enough to say that you were sorry for the sin of being born white, but you now have to go and track back some history of why all whiteys need to be locked up in a FEMA camp somewhere. I mean, if you listen to Joe Biden, I'm going to tell you something. I say a lot of stuff on the air. Some of it's serious, some of it not. I am one of the least. I never get offended. I'm going to tell you something. I borderline pissed to offended listening to Joe Biden mistakenly talk about British common law and telling Whitey why he's so bad. And the press, again, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because this is, look, for those
that level.
Let me tell you something. Every day becomes clearer and clearer to me that the Obama administration, greatest success, was beginning to fundamentally transform the United States of America. And the one thing that I will give him that sends people on the right over the edge, don't doubt it for a second. He was their Ronald Reagan in so much as he has pulled that party so far left in 8 years, it's unrecognizable. But I'll tell you what's going to be unrecognizable, the show, if we can't pay our bills. We're running a little late. We want to thank everybody for sticking with us. We got 17 more minutes for you to come in. We're going to have the third segment. We're going to have a little fun. We got to go to that Trump rally in Michigan. Oh, like an old school gangster G-boss. Unbelievable. JD and Stacey here on Game On at that KLRN. We're here every Sunday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Cap up your drink, type up your stink, get whatever helps make you think. If there's somewhere on my board, I think I can find the breaks. Here we go. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $3 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Whether we realize it or not, everyone has been impacted by addiction. We all have family members, we all have friends that have faced this demon. But there's hope. There's hope in recovery. There's hope when we work together to rise above the plight of addiction. I'd like you to join Mac Mullings every Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. on Rise Above Radio on KOKC 1520 AM, where they talk about the hope that is available to all of us.
JD and Stacy live here on Game On that KLRN radio. We're taking you to the top of that 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Hour on this March 31st, 2019. We want to thank everybody for joining us live today. Everybody who's been listening to the show during the week. Our numbers have been absolutely stellar. We can't thank you enough. We want to thank that Ricky Tikki Tavi, Rick Robinson, that KLRN Radio. We want to thank Spotify. But most importantly, folks, most importantly, we want to thank you. None of this is possible without you. As a matter of fact, what I think you may be making possible, Stacey and I are in conversations over the next couple of weeks. We may open up Game On Sunday nights, open to a 2-hour show, keep the same format in the first hour, the second hour, take things a little deeper, maybe do some series dives. But again, none of this is possible without you. The feedback has been unbelievable. We're going to have some nice A-list guests coming up for you pretty soon. Next week, I believe, we will be unveiling, for those of you who are familiar with Game On from the past, before we went on hiatus, Mr. Joseph Levine. We literally have a Middle Eastern correspondent over in Israel, and if not, I believe he's going to be on next week live. But it just depends on what kind of Durkas are shooting rockets over into the poor man's backyard. But just fascinating perspective, one of the smartest people, one of my favorite guests. We got a couple other surprises out there in the works for you. Also, just keep coming back, baby. You keep coming and we'll keep giving. Usually, you want to know the other, you keep giving, I keep coming. I have what she's having.
You're starting to bell yourself again.
Okay, terrific.
What the?
I said it's great when you're starting to bell yourself again. I don't even have to say it.
Giggity, 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 let's have sex.
Give it to me.
Those men wanted to have sex with me.
We'll talk about Peter Buttgeg in another segment in the
Or something, isn't it? Aren't the cheese like zhuzhes?
The what? The who?
I thought it was like Buttigieg or something.
Oh,
like,
butt plug. Listen, listen.
the
It's okay. It's okay. Okay, listen.
like the difference between GIF and GIF or whatever.
You can't look at it and not be like butt plug McGillicuddy. It just that's who he's gonna be.
I know.
Until I didn't think we're gonna need something for him. This isn't gonna maybe.
Those men wanted to have sex with me.
Yeah, we got to come up with something for Buttigieg if he's gonna.
He beat Robert Francis in a poll.
If he's going to be, screw Robert Francis. I can't stand Robert Francis.
Every suburban housewife wants to do.
We already have his theme music. Wait. Oh, we have two. Wait, I forgot we have two for him. Where's his real one? Oh, there he is. This is
Doctor and a lawyer and an Indian chief. Now they all dig that crazy beat. Way Out Willie gave them all a treat.
You know, I made this point the other day. Is it just me, or if you ever watched him give a speech, it's like he's drank 4 pots of coffee and had an entire bowl of fiber, and just rushes through his campaign speeches like he's got to run and deuce it out. But we only have a few minutes left here in the show. I want to go to President Trump's justifiably raucous rally in Michigan the other night. And kids, I don't care what you think about this guy. He is absolutely entertaining as hell. He makes me smile. He makes me laugh. And only he can get away with this. You're going to be hearing a lot more of this coming up for the president in the reelection.
The Democrats have to now decide whether they will continue defrauding the public with ridiculous bullshit. And after 3 years of lies and smears and slander, the Russia hoax is finally dead. The collusion delusion is over. Total exoneration, complete vindication, and all of the current and former officials who paid for, promoted, and perpetuated the single greatest hoax.
I want to run this one back right here. Hold on.
Delusion
Right.
is over.
Here we go.
Total exoneration, complete vindication, and all of the current and former officials who paid.
Those of you who remember Cajun Man that Adam Sandler used to do on SNL. And, well, is there anything that you haven't told us about Cajun Man? Penetration, exoneration. The penetration happened because of inebriation at the end of a very long and drug-filled vacation. Do you remember that?
I was done with Saturday Night Live.
Okay, terrific.
This is 92. This is 1992, this cut with Sandler, and it is great. I tried to pull it. NBC had some licensing stuff with what we were trying to pull for the audio, but it's so funny. And when Trump, it almost sounds like he's like, I will take full exoneration from my inebriation.
Well, no, but the one that is going to stick is collusion delusion.
Collusion? Well, so's pencil neck. I mean, I didn't...
Collusion delusion, yeah, those are all going to stick.
I saw Collusion Delusion open up for the Violent Femmes in '87.
He does these little things, and I don't know how much he's involved in some of the verbiage that goes on in these rallies, but, I mean, there was a couple little cuts in there. They're going to become actual things.
Yeah, how about this one right here?
I support the Great Lakes. Always have. They're beautiful. They're big, very deep, record deepness, right?
But hold on, let me play. Just listen to the beginning of it. Hold on, listen. Oh, shit. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this. Clear this all out. I hate when that happens. Where is? Let me do the clip one more time with him in the Great Lakes.
I support the Great Lakes.
I support the Great Lakes.
Always have.
I always have. Only Mayor Quimby. Can I ask you a question? Has there been an American politician in the history of mankind that did not support the Great Lakes? Like, even when we were thinking about taking them from the French? I mean, Jesus, I love it.
The whole thing. Okay, he's going to be concentrating on Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. And I think the only Democrat that has a prayer of winning Pennsylvania and Michigan is Joe Biden. If they knock him out, and they've started to do that this week, I think Trump's got those.
He's not. Biden's getting taken out with the
feely hair snippy
Don't sit
thing.
yet. You're gonna like this.
When you combine the
Don't sit yet. You're gonna like this.
With, come on.
I support the Great Lakes. Always have.
Always have.
They're beautiful. They're big.
They're big.
Very deep.
Deep.
Record deepness.
Record deep.
Record deepness is a big deal because they were supposed to be dry. They were never supposed to come back because of global warming.
But let me tell you something. It's why I love being an American, and it's why I've actually warmed up to this man as president, because everything in his world is the best. You know who he is? He's Banya from Seinfeld with Jerry. Jerry, you gotta go to this restaurant. It's the best. Have the soup. It's the best, Jerry. The best. That's it. Trump is Banya.
That whole little shtick you played is pure freaking New York. He sounds like a New Yorker again.
I know. But he's Banya. Jerry, have you ever been to the lakes? Lakes are great, aren't they? We have the lakes, Jerry. They're the best. They're called the Great Lakes. You know why, Jerry? Because they're the best. You know what else is the best? Game on, baby. Fastest hour in conservative radio is finishing itself right up. I'm not even going to ask you if you got your keys. I'm just going to start that car and have you tell the nice people where they can find you.
You can find me on @ScottsFire, SCOTSFYRE on Twitter. Stacey Lennox is my page on Facebook, and I occasionally write stuff at TheResurgent.com.
The stuff at The Resurgent is great. You can find me on bar stools, alleyways, city situations. I'm going to vest up. If I live through it, I'll see you next week.
I'm looking for you, you Occupy freaks with your glitter bombs. Bring it on! Bring on the glitter. Everything has changed. Everything has changed in the last few years. Conservatives used to take it, and we're not taking it anymore.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
Get your free inventor's information. Call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.